Here's your third team. CP3, Trae Young, LeBron, Pascal Siakam, Big Cat, Karl Anthony Towns. The second team has Steph, Ja, DeMar DeRozan, KD, and Embiid. So that leaves the first team as Luka, Devin Booker, Giannis, Jayson Tatum, and the Joker. Now, I would imagine there are gripes and takes riddled throughout this list. Brew, I'll start with you. Thoughts on the All-NBA teams?
Yeah, I have a gripe, Jenna, and it's that Joel Embiid, who was, by everyone's estimation, one of the 3 best players in the league this year, did not make first team. This is the second straight year that Embiid has been second on the MVP ballot, but second team All-NBA, not first team. So I think it's ridiculous. And he was listed as a center and a forward, so you could have voted him as a forward, which I did. I had him first team with Giannis and with Jokić, and 53 of the 100 voters had that as well. Here's what they should do, and Nick and others felt like, no, you got to go with one center. Look, the NBA today is largely positionless. Joel Embiid, I would argue, actually plays more like a forward than a center. He's always shooting mid-range jumpers. He shoots threes. He can handle the basketball. And Jokić is a true point center or point forward, whatever you will want to call him. So I don't think you go full positionless where you just pick the 5 best players and you might end up with 5 guards or 5 forwards or what have you. But I do think you should do what they've done on the All-Star ballot, which is have 2 guards or 2 backcourt players and 3 frontcourt players. Period. No forward center, just 2 backcourt, 3 front court. That way people wouldn't feel as bad about voting for 2 big men or 2 centers like Embiid and Jokić. So I think that's how it should be, Nick. That's my main gripe. I had a few differences with the second and third teams as well, but my main gripe is Embiid deserved better than this.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you. I think he should have been first team and Jokić should have been second team. I like the history, the being able to compare all NBA teams over a year. But of the 100 voters, 53 did what you did, which is they had Embiid and Jokić both on first team. So, you know what I mean? You were more in line with what people were doing than what I wanted to do. I have a few observations and then a gripe. First observation is Luka Dončić, now 3-time first team All-NBA. A little context there. That is 1 less than Giannis, Chris Paul, and Steph Curry. 3-time first team All-NBA for Luka, who's 23 years old, is the same as Kyrie, Dame, and Russell Westbrook combined. So Luka Dončić already continuing to build the legend, even more so if he completes the greatest comeback in NBA history, trumping even LeBron's 3-1 comeback over the Warriors. However, that is not where I really want to spend the time. The time, you know, Wilds, you know I like to dig into the metadata of things. And sometimes you're like, oh, this is the All-NBA team, but how did we get there? And a few vote omissions and inclusions. So LeBron being third team is fine. I think you had an argument he should have been over DeRozan, but it's fine, him being third team. 9 voters, 9, left LeBron off their ballot entirely. That's indefensible. And I'd like to find the last guy who averaged 38 and 6, no matter the team's record, to be left off an All-NBA ballot. Spoiler alert, it's never happened in modern NBA history. So maybe a little, maybe a little anti-LeBron bias has permeated some of the media. But that's the omission. The inclusion is what really grinds my gears, as they say. Hidden in the NBA press release is one solitary All-NBA vote for Kyrie Irving. And listen, Wilds, I know we're in a place in this country where people seem eager to take away people's right to vote, and I normally push back against that. Not in this case. That voter should be named and shamed and have the vote stricken. Brew, maybe that voter is one of the people on your 13-person I Hate Nick Wright group chat you participate in when they send you ammo to use against me. Say, oh, fire this at Nick. I'm not sure who it is. Maybe it's someone you've had a cocktail with at an all-star game in 1986. Wilds, maybe it's someone you once put on television. Oh, they have some spicy takes. Let's put them on the jump. Who knows who they are? But we will know. And I would like to hear that justified. How Kyrie Irving, who played 29 games, who one could argue is the biggest reason James Harden wanted to leave, who was a massive distraction, who it didn't play that much and did not contribute to winning hardly at all, how he makes an All-NBA team. Wilds, can you defend it? You're on, you're in the upper crust NBA media.
Okay. I will say my most likely hypothesis, mistake. You got to just go with just mistake. I'm going with the more.
That makes
you have
sense.
to.
I agree.
I'm just saying mistake. You can't put everything else aside. Put all of your Kyrie takes over here. You just don't vote for someone that played 29 games. You just don't. So I think mistake is honestly the number one chance. And I'll throw it to you, Broussard, to address whether you think it's a mistake or not. But quickly on LeBron. Broussard, do you feel like in the voting, squad, we'll call you guys, was LeBron penalized or left off those ballots because he's the only guy here who didn't make the playoffs? He played 56 games, so it wasn't a game thing. Durant played 55 games. Do you think that's the one penalty LeBron has? Hey, you didn't make the playoffs. I'm refusing to vote for a guy, All-NBA, who doesn't make the playoffs. I don't care how many stats you put up.
Absolutely. That's the only explanation. I don't think it was an anti-LeBron bias. I had LeBron like Nick on the third team. I think Nick might have had him second. I had him on the third team. But, yeah, everyone else on these three teams did what? They made the playoffs. And LeBron didn't. So that is the only explanation. I'm with you on that, Wilds. As far as Kyrie, it's hard. I'm a voter. It's hard the way it's computerized to actually make a mistake, I think. You had that, whoever that voter was, did think Kyrie, and then maybe you hope they would have thought twice about it, said, no, I can't go this way, and they just forgot. That's the only way it could be a mistake. I think that voter, whoever it is, and we'll find out, as you guys said, I think he looked at it erroneously, but he looked at it like, okay, I'm just picking the guys I think are the best. So the 6 best guards. And I think Kyrie's in the top 6 guards. It's still not justifiable. It's ludicrous. 29 games. I don't care if you average 70 points a game. You can't make All-NBA playing 29 games, and voluntarily sitting out. But my only explanation, Wilds, is he just thinks Kyrie is one of the top 6 guards in the league, so I'm putting him on this team. That's it. That's it.
Well, he should have voted Kawhi Leonard.
It's ridiculous.
If they do strike him of his vote and one vote comes available, you got anyone in mind?
I know where this is going.
I got someone in mind.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.